Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. Lord God, we thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather today to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2018. Over the last 4 years, you have given us the strength to overcome obstacles and grow into the men seated here today. We thank you for guiding us to become men of intellect and accomplishment, faith and compassion, service and justice, and integrity and respect. We have been helped along this journey by our faculty, who have devoted their time to creating the most well-rounded men possible, by our classmates who helped create a brotherhood that gives us a positive learning environment, and finally, by our parents who give us the support we needed through unconditional love and sacrifice. As we prepare to move on from LaSalle, we ask God for his guidance in helping us find our way in life. Just as we enter to learn, we must now leave to serve. Let us take the lessons we have learned here at LaSalle and use them to create a more compassionate society. We ask all of this through Christ our Lord. Amen. St. John Baptist de LaSalle, we have Jesus in our hearts forever. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, Brother James, Mr. O'Toole, members of the class of 1968, members of the faculty and administration, members of the board, parents, friends, and most importantly, members of the class of 2018. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to graduation. To begin, I would like each member of the class of 2018 to think back to August 26, 2014, the day your career at LaSalle began. What were you wearing? Were you nervous, excited? Where did you see yourself in 4 years? We have sure come a long way, and it is now time to graduate. The 1,377 days you were enrolled at LaSalle are coming to a close. When reflecting on the past 4 years, I was trying to think of some grand event or idea to center this speech around, but I realized that no single event would be able to capture these past 4 years at LaSalle. What finally struck me wasn't some big idea. It was actually a rather small one. Let me take you back to freshman year. It was after school one night, and my dad was looking at a piece of mail from LaSalle and asked me, "What does Virtus Scientia mean?" I didn't have a clue, and I didn't know why he was asking me. These two words came from the LaSalle crest, which can be found all throughout the building and on a patch on many of our blazers. I had seen the LaSalle crest many times, but I overlooked the two small words that appear on it. Translated from Latin, Virtus and Scientia mean moral strength and knowledge. After that night, I never really thought much about these two Latin words, besides recognizing them when looking at the LaSalle crest from time to time. Fast forward to senior year, I decided to take Latin 1. in Mr. Courtney's class, we had a mix of students ranging from age 14 to age 19, all trying to master a new language. After spending second period in room 119 each day, I can definitely tell you that Latin is not a dead language. It is filled with little words and phrases that hold important messages and valuable life lessons. Despite seeing the crest on a daily basis, I failed to see the significance in those two little words that appear on it until it was almost time to graduate. Virtus Sentientia embody the Lasallian values that were ingrained in us starting August 26, 2014, in this very gym. With the guidance of our teachers, coaches, and everyone in the LaSalle community, we have become men of moral strength and knowledge. In a world where it is not easy to be of moral strength, it is evident that the class of 2018 has been forged into men of character. This moral strength is seen in the way each of us treat one another and carry ourselves on a day-to-day basis. Through many long nights and hours of hard work, we have also become men of knowledge. We are heading off to great colleges and universities next year and are bound for great things. The class of 2018 can be described as men of moral strength and knowledge, but there are so many more words that describe us as a class. These two words, these two little things, prompted me to reflect on other Latin phrases that aren't just characteristics of the class of 2018, but encapsulate our journey over the past 4 years. I would like to share 3 little words with big meanings in reflection, but also as encouragement as we start a new journey after LaSalle. The first phrase, e pluribus unum. This phrase is most commonly found on all U.S. currency. It means out of many, one. We are just one community here at LaSalle out of 7 billion people in the world. We are just one Lasallian school out of hundreds. We are just one graduating class out of thousands, and each of us is just one student out of 268 students in the class of 2018. Each of us has had our own unique journey, and we have all had moments that shaped our experience at LaSalle. Maybe it was homeroom, or that class with a legendary teacher. Maybe it was winning a championship, performing in the play, or competing in an electric robotics matchup with the boys from Team 5181. For me, it was winning championships with the soccer and lacrosse teams, being a founding member on the squash team, experiencing Kairos 37-119 and 37-121, sharing in Homeroom 5D, participating in urban immersion and the New Orleans service trip, and seeing my best friends every day, as well as numerous other experiences. LaSalle has always been a place that makes my day better, because no matter how bad my day was going, it was always made 100 times better, surrounded by all 267 of you. Whether you came in as a kid from Ambler, Philadelphia, Newtown, or China, we have all come together over the past 4 years. Your journey may have been a unique one out of many, but we are united in the fact that we came to LaSalle and formed lifetime bonds of being Lasallian and growing in our faith, whether it be in the classroom, on stage, on the field, on the court, or in the lab. We spent our high school years at a one-of-a-kind high school with one-of-a-kind people. We have had our own unique journeys, but united as a class, we have also done so much. That brings me to the next phrase, Veni, Vidi, Vici, or I came, I saw, I conquered, the famous statement by Julius Caesar in a letter to the Roman Senate after a victory in battle. I think it is safe to say that we, the class of 2018, came, saw, and conquered. We came into LaSalle in 2014 with high expectations for the future. We saw those that came before us move up and graduate, and we saw ourselves become the seniors, the big men on campus. We saw various LaSalle events, and we even saw Garrett Zobel almost burn down the precious student center with just 4 things: Twix bar, cookies, a cup, and a microwave. We even saw an Eagles Super Bowl championship. We saw God's presence in our lives each day by not looking up, but looking around. We saw many sports victories, high AP scores, and life-affirming Kairos retreats. We saw many challenges, and we conquered them. We conquered the SAT, the college process, and we conquered our freshman year fear of Mr. Fike. Those nights when we were up at 2 a.m. wondering if this whole school thing was for us, we conquered those too. We came to LaSalle, and each of us has developed into a person far better than we could have imagined becoming as an inexperienced freshman. We saw that there was nowhere else we would have rather spent the past 4 years, and we conquered whatever life had to throw at us, and here we are at graduation today. So, class of 2018, we may have conquered high school, but it doesn't end here. I could spend hours talking about all we have achieved these past 4 years, but it is important to also shed light on the years that lie ahead. That leaves another Latin phrase to carry with us as we move on from LaSalle. I could end this speech by telling you all to carpe diem or seize the day, but that's just too cliche. Instead, I have a different phrase in mind, a phrase found on the walls of the San Diego Chargers locker room, and a phrase that has been my phone background for the past few months. It is Nunc cepi, or now I begin. Each morning when you wake up, you begin again. After failure, you begin again. Whenever life is not going your way, you can tell yourself, now I begin, and start fresh. As we start a new journey after LaSalle and begin again, we cannot just take what we have learned at LaSalle and let it fade into a nice memory. We must begin to live as men of faith, justice, and compassion outside the walls of LaSalle. We must continue to build on these past 4 years by building on our moral strength and knowledge, and yes, seizing the day. Before we know it, just like the class of 1968, it will be time for us to celebrate our 50-year reunion at the class of 2068 graduation. We are nowhere near our best selves. This process is just getting started. When you begin each day, continue to build on these past 4 years and strive to be a man of moral strength and knowledge. We will soon begin a new journey. So in closing, I would like to provide some inspiration in the form of a poem by Chief Tecumseh that is hung up in my room. Some of you have definitely heard this one before. The poem says the following: "So live your life that the fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion, respect others in their view, and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long, and its purpose the service of your people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you go over the great divide. Always give a word or sign of salute when meeting or passing a friend, even a stranger when in a lonely place. Show respect to all people and grovel to none. When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault only lies in yourself. Abuse no one and no thing, for abuse turns the wise ones to fools and robs the spirit of its vision. When it comes your time to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with the fear of death, so that when their time comes, they weep and pray for a little more time to live their lives over in a different way. Sing your death song and die like a hero going home." Unfortunately, our time as LaSalle students comes to an end today. Never forget these past 4 years. Whenever you find yourself thinking about what you don't have, think about what you do have. Remember that one of those things you have is a great 4 years to look back on. As we move forward, remember to always seek meaning in the small things in life, whether it is in everyday interactions, random occurrences, or even 2 small words on a crest. Always know yourself and put God first, the other fellow second, and yourself last. No matter where life takes you, the young men sitting around you will always be there for you. We arrived at LaSalle as one out of many. We came, we saw, we conquered. And now we must go out into the world and begin again, putting our moral strength and knowledge to work, united as men of LaSalle. To my brothers of the class of 2018 and the entire LaSalle community, it has been an awesome 4 years. Thank you.
In the dedication of the 1968 Blue and Gold Yearbook to Brother Carl Clayton, the class wrote of him as possessing strong personal convictions, being willing to make unorthodox decisions, and for distinguishing himself in his many roles and responsibilities. What was true of Brother Carl then has become true of this class now. Over the past half-century, they have grown to emulate their mentor and having distinguished themselves in their own right. On this, the golden anniversary of their graduation, I am honored to present to you the class of 1968. Gentlemen.
At this time, we will now present the awards for academic excellence to the class of 2018. When your name is called, please come up to receive your medal. The LaSalle College High School Medal for the Study of Religion goes to Brendan Sweeney. Next, the LaSalle College High School Medals for Science. In biology, the award goes to Aiden Young and Desmond Young. In environmental science, the award goes to Jackson McCunis. The Robert J. Russell Award for Physics first goes to James Marek. The Robert J. Russell Award for Physics, in addition to the Science Award for Chemistry, the Bernard A. McDermott Medal for Mathematics, and the LaSalle College High School Medal for Programming go to Silshi Liu. The LaSalle College High School medals for networking go to Robert Uzo and Zachary Rotzel. The LaSalle College High School medals for multimedia production go to James Meyer and Jason Bempa. The LaSalle College High School Medal for Engineering Design first goes to Ethan Iatesta. The LaSalle College High School Medal for Engineering Design, in addition to the William F. Connolly Medal for English, go to Aiden Young. The Michael A. O'Toole Class of '68 Medal for Creative Writing goes to Michael Kelly.
The Mothers Club Medal for Two-Dimensional Art goes to Grant Hamilton. The Joseph W. Wessner Class of '73 Medal for Three-Dimensional Art goes to Sean Lee. The Tina Glacken Memorial Art Scholarship of $500 for the student who exhibits an extraordinary appreciation of the arts and has excelled in art classes goes to Stephen Carabuccia. The LaSalle College High School Medals for Music go to Dylan DeBrecalier, John Judge III, and Brian Carabin Jr. The LaSalle College High School Medal for Chorus goes to Alistair Verkler. The Sal Ponte Class of 52 Medal and $500 grant for theater goes to John Gimple. The Brother Renee Sterner FSC Medal for Forensics goes to Patrick Kelly. The David T. Deal Class of 55 Medal for Economics goes to Solchiz Liu. The LaSalle College High School Medal for Government goes to Sean Egan. The LaSalle College High School Medal for History goes to Liam Ward. The LaSalle College High School Medal for Psychology goes to Tyler Shorten. The William T. Connor Medal for Social Studies and the Brother Emilian FSC Medal for Latin goes to James Merrick. The LaSalle College High School Medal for Chinese goes to Eric Witt. The LaSalle College High School Medal for French goes to Robert Denny. The Linda A. Donahue Medal for Italian goes to John Roosh. The Brother William Riley FSC Medal for Spanish goes to Samuel Hellings. The Drew Panettiere Award and Scholarship Grant for students who embody selflessness, love, and friendship go to Jason Bempa and Martin Redenauer. The Hartzell Family Award for a student in the David program in recognition of perseverance and strong positive conviction to God, family, and school goes to Charles Roten III.
At this time, it is my pleasure to present Special School Awards. The Men of LaSalle Loyalty Medal and $500 grant are awarded to Robert Nicholas Uzo. The First Lieutenant Travis J. Mannion, USMC, class of '99, Memorial Medal and $500 grant for the Senior Scholar Athlete is awarded to Joseph Francis Burnham. The LaSalle College High School Alumni Association Award and $500 grant to the graduating senior who has best embodied over 4 years the principles of loyalty, commitment, generosity, and camaraderie is awarded to Sean Patrick Egan. The Dr. Edward A. and Beatrice C. Dahowski Senior Medal and $500 grant for the student who best exemplifies the principles of St. John Baptist de LaSalle and the Christian Brothers is awarded to Jason Kwame Bempa. The John McShane Medal and $500 grant to the student who has worked hardest to bring credit to LaSalle College High School is awarded to Zachary Peter Rotzel. The William A. Meehan Esquire Class of '44 Award and $1,000 grant for outstanding community service is awarded to Scott Michael McDade, Jr. The LaSalle College High School Spirit Award and $500 grant for the student who has worked the hardest to promote a healthy sense of participation and enthusiasm for the full range of activities at LaSalle is awarded to Daniel James Jordan.
Reverend clergy, devoted religious, loved parents and grandparents, siblings, relatives of the graduates, dear colleagues on the Board of Trustees and on the faculty and staff, now is a good time for you to take a bit of intermission if you like. Maybe check the Weather Channel app to see how your party's going to fare with the thunderstorms the next few days, because by tradition, my remarks at this point in the program are addressed to a specific group in the room. It is addressed to those here before me. For one last time, before I must forever call you alumni, let me greet you as I have these past 4 years. Men of LaSalle College High School. Among life's many strange detours which led me to stand before you here today were some years spent studying the cultural anthropology of education at Penn. While the dismissive would conclude I used nothing from this training in my present job, that's short-sighted. Dabbling in ethnography taught me how to see, to work at understanding how others make sense of their world. I learned that something dismissed as nonsensical or trivial from the outside, in fact, may be both sensible and significant when viewed from a participant's standpoint. In the spring of 2018, the challenge of making sense of your world from the inside seemed to demand that I do one thing: master the game Fortnite Battle Royale. My occasional passes through the library since March emphatically reinforced the point. More than attempting to answer a DBQ for AP Social Studies or prepping for the English open question, the preferred way to navigate the mid-X day doldrums appeared clear. Work to be the last of 100 players left standing, the one entitled to do that victory dance. I soon discovered, of course, that the initial challenge at LaSalle is not outlasting 99 opponents. It's joining the game. Simply put, it was easier for Harry Potter to discover and destroy one of Voldemort's Horcruxes than for me to get into Fortnite. So many enchantments has our tech department used to deny access to this game. So I had to wait till I was traveling to begin my career as a gamer. Alone in a hotel rather than surrounded by LaSalle students, I found myself with so many beginner questions and no one to answer them. Why is my avatar a woman? A strikingly buff woman, but a woman nonetheless. Why does everyone else have cool battle gear and a costume, while all I have is this pickaxe? Why do I run around for a while, apparently invisible, then get scooped up into that flying blue bus? And how did I just imagine to eliminate myself? After a secure senior year at LaSalle, you're about to get scooped up into a different culture. In some cases, a radically different one. This situation and my brief gaming experience give rise to the first piece of graduation advice I hope you'll take to heart. Learn to love the questions. Don't rush to answer them. They keep things fresh. If you do get into a situation where you know all the answers off by heart, maybe it's time for a change. Both in my early battles where I just wailed on trees, walls, and cars with my pickaxe, and in my later ones, after I learned to collect an array of healing potions, bandages, and weapons, I was able to acquire some loot. It took me longer to learn what that loot is actually good for, though. That experience taught me Fortnite's second lesson for graduates. Build something with your loot. It's there for that reason. Almost everyone seated before me is leaving LaSalle with a remarkable education, with other valuable skills and experiences, and with close friends. If you haven't built up some corner of your university 4 years from now, after starting with such advantages, skydive or glide in as you will, you really dropped in for no good reason. The third and best Fortnite lesson suggested to us today, however, is one only learned as a player gets to be more adept. In my 2 best rounds, where I lasted till 4th and 6th, I experienced the contraction of the eye of the storm, the mechanical device that causes the match to end by forcing surviving players to choose between confronting each other or growing fatally weak out on their own. The lesson Endgame teaches: plan your moves ahead so that you don't get caught in the storm, and don't let the storm force your moves. Storms are sure to affect all of us as we go through life. If not during college, then surely thereafter. Remember that you are LaSalle men, fortified by faith in God, encouraged by the brotherhood you share, creative, skilled in solving problems, and steadfast in service to those in need. Remember that? And well, you may get wet, but you'll make it through the storm. So now, little remains but to get you graduated and on the battle bus to the challenges and opportunities ahead. So I'll end by administering a potion that never wears off, a real-life chug jug. LaSalle's hope that wherever on the map you will land in the years to come, Jesus will live in your hearts forever. God bless you always, gentlemen.
Brother James, Mr. O'Toole, the class of 2018 seated before you has completed the program of studies in fulfillment of our graduation requirements. On the recommendation of the faculty, I present them to you to receive their diplomas.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Board of Trustees of LaSalle College High School, and on the recommendation of the administration and faculty, a diploma of graduation is conferred upon each member of the class of 2018 who has successfully completed the prescribed program of studies at LaSalle College High School.
At this time, Mr. Coggins and I will call upon the homeroom moderators and homerooms to come forward to receive their diplomas. Please hold your applause until all of the students within each homeroom have been recognized. Will Mr. Benjamin Courtney and members of homeroom 1D please come forward? Matthew Acker IV. Brandon Bean. Joseph Burnham. Matthew Klibanoff. Joseph Ellis Jr. Christopher Forsyth. Quinn Giongo. James Gottschall. Elmer Hansen IV. Kieran Hogan. Daniel Jordan. Brian Carabin Jr. Jason Kessler. Michael Layden. Thomas Longo. James Merrick. John McEwen III. David Mester. Christopher Mulligan. Gregory Quick. Owen Ritzky. Brian Schaub, Jr. Devin Smith. Thomas Steinberg. John Towles. Daniel Wolfinger. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Daniel Sapola and the members of Homeroom 2D please come forward? Nando Adari. Jason Bempa. Christian Calabretta. William Conran. Dominic DeRosa. Sean Friday. Joshua Graham. Troy Holland. Isaiah Jones. Daniel Karish. Chase Kensel. Timothy Lorenzo. Andrew Martin. Shane McCullough. Scott McDade Jr. James Meyer. Brandon Murphy. Alex Parlanti. Robert Rinker. Daniel Scallon. Benjamin Shelley. Edmund Ward III. Thomas Woolley. Charles Roten III. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Kyle Werman and members of Homeroom 3D please come forward? Evan Addison. Jalen Bennett. Findlay Campbell. Brennan Daly. Preston Damasco. Keyshawn Epps. Daniel Gandolfo. Joseph Grant Jr. Matthew Harkins. Edward Holzel. Michael Kelly. Robert Cook. Gregory Lee. Andrew Luchchownig. Jack Martin. Ryan McDonnell. Joseph Miller. Thomas Nagel. Maxwell Paz. Zachary Quinn. Matthew Quirk. Luke Roberts. John Santoro. Andrew Schenk. Ian Smith. Nicholas Towers. Liam Ward. Joseph Wright. Yanchen Xu. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Michael Camusi and the members of Homeroom 4D please come forward? Will Adler. Patrick Benson. Stephen Carbucia. Michael Klibanoff. Matthew D'Onofrio. William Ernst IV. Sean Grant. Nicholas Harmon. Michael Iannieri. Matthew Kohler. Sean Lee. Ian McGilvery. James Mackerlane. Charles Minnick. Kyle Natter. Maximilian Perez Mas. Luke Radozeski. Owen Rocks. Matthew Santoro. Chase Shields. Joshua Smith. Marco Strozzeri. Liam Trainer. Brett Werner. Andrew Wynn. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Matthew Derrick and members of Homeroom 5D please come forward? William Affle. Gustavo Alexanian. Robert Bonner III. Octavius Carter. William Cook, Jr. Chase DeAndrea. Jack Donahue. Michael Fabrizio. Dominic Gerace. Jake Grant. Ryan Haviland. Ethan Iatesta. Colin Kelly. Daniel Kelly. Craig Krug. John Kyle. Austin Lemke. Jackson McCunis. Christopher Marzullo. Hunter McGarvey. Jacob Mittman. Christian Persichetti. Tommy Ramos. Alec Santoro. Tyler Shorten. Sean Simon. Kevin Swartz. Christopher Trummel. Kyle Wernley. Aiden Young. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Christopher Holwick and the members of Homeroom 6D please come forward? Adam Aronson. Daniel Boyle. Patrick Caulfield. Andrew Cassetti. Andrew Dotto. Thomas Doherty. Samuel Hellings. Colin Hirschman. Jack Kelly. Anthony Lemma III. Stephen Matchett. Joseph McIntyre IV. Brendan Marr. Patrick Mazzoni. Brendan O'Brien. Casey Peterman. Giovanni Randazzo. Blake Rondo. Tyler Scavello. Francis Signoretta. Isaiah Sneed. Brendan Sweeney. John Tyrrell. Jacob Wyand. Desmond Young. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Michael McCabe and members of Homeroom 7D please come forward? Ryan Baker. Hunter Bradbury. Timothy Tchaikovsky, Jr. Anthony Cosetti. Dylan DeBroccolier. Sean Duffy. Christopher Faunce. Kevin Gill. Samuel Grassi. Jake Herbetko. Patrick Kelly. Christopher Lang. Kieran McGuire. John Maddie. Michael McLaren. Maxim Mocharnuk. Kyle O'Connor. Julian Picofazzi. John Reckner. Angelo Rosato. Patrick Sheffy. Jared Singletary. Jack Sones. Daniel Sykes. Robert Uzo. Tyler Whitehead. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. James Tate and the members of Homeroom 8D please come forward? Timothy Brady, Jr. Matthew Chapone. Robert Costello III. Robert Denny. David Dugarry, Jr. Patrick Gill. John Gimple. David Gutekunst. Christopher Hillman. Patrick Joyce. Evan Kennedy. Daniel Kuznetsov. William Lakin, Jr. Bernard Lindinger. Christopher Maloney. Gianluca Mazzarelli. James McMonigal III. Alexander Moon. Ryan O'Neill. Owen Pagini. Eugene Pinder II. Martin Redenauer. Joseph Rossi. Brian Schleinkofer. Harrison Sloan. Daniel Selecki, Jr. Thomas Sawinski. Jack Vanieri. Owen Williamson. Garrett Zobel. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Jared Hardy and the members of Homeroom 9D please come forward? Byron Beret, Jr. Sean Brand. Connor Christian. Ryan Kramer. Jack Desmond. Brendan Doolin. Theodore Felix Jr. Grant Hamilton. Owen Hinckley. John Judge III. Benjamin LeMay. Silshi Liu. Shane Maneri. Ethan Masucci. Sean McBride. Daniel McNamara. Kevin Morrissey. Christopher Alt. Gregory Osborne. Thomas Price. Zachary Rotzel. Jackson Schwartz. James Scotto. Joseph Sortino. Alistair Berkler. Andrew Wisniewski. Tenyo Zua. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Will Mr. Patrick Heasley and the members of Homeroom 10D please come forward? Anthony Bessiano. Joseph Brigidi. Joseph Chichamero III. Martin Sangrady. Sean Egan. Timothy Fitzpatrick. William Glah IV. Nicholas Hoffman. Daniel Junkin. Ethan Lamond. James Lombardi. Eric Marashewski. Christopher McCloskey. Matthew McMahon. Kyle Morse. Garrett Pumilia. Michael Riley. John Roosh. Christian Scotto. Jonathan Squadrito. Dean Walton. Eric Witt. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Brother James Butler, Mr. O'Toole, member of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, members of the class of 1968, friends, family, but this speech is really for my classmates, the class of 2018. Just 4 years ago, we entered the doors of LaSalle as a freshman class ready to begin the newest stage of our lives, high school. A new environment, new faces, new curriculum, and certainly new titles. Men. 14-year-old men. Not only was freshman year a time to get comfortable with the school and our peers, but it was also a time full of lessons to be learned. Whether it was what it meant to be a real man based on seasons of life, learning that you actually have to study for a test in high school, or even Mr. Fike's 3 goals for us before we graduate. I can't say that I'm the perfect example of someone who met all 3, but I'm sure you all remember them. 1, get cut from a sports team. Now, for someone who voluntarily sat out on basketball games in gym class, that one seemed a little impractical. 2, get our hearts broken. The closest I've come to heartbreak is seeing the price of the milkshake machines in the cafeteria. The Glazier Student Center. 3, fail a test. And thanks to my calc class, I've become a little too familiar with that one. 1 out of 3, 33%, which is better than the 0 out of 9 that I got on my last calc quiz. So I didn't necessarily fit the perfect mold of what Mr. Fike wanted us to achieve, but that doesn't matter. Because here at LaSalle, we as a class have been able to unify through our failures and our successes, our shortcomings and our strengths. As cliched as it may sound, over these past 4 years, we have been able to create a close-knit community, a brotherhood. Now, for a kid that doesn't do well with change, I wasn't the strongest believer in the whole brotherhood shtick. I mean, for me, it seemed more of a marketing thing, kind of like how a certain school in North Philadelphia markets itself to be a premier all-Catholic boys' school. I just wasn't buying it. Sure, these guys would be my friends, people I went to class with, people I hung out with on the weekends, but brothers? I mean, that seemed a little far-fetched. Plus, I'm shy, and in new environments, I completely shut down until I get comfortable, so it seemed all the more impossible. So maybe I didn't say a single word the first day of freshman year, but I always remember the day that I shadowed in 8th grade. Out of the 4 schools that I applied to, LaSalle was the only school where I felt at home. And I think that's really important to acknowledge, but what I think is even more important is what Mr. Doherty asks every student at the end of their visit. Essentially, did you see anybody getting bullied, picked on, or made fun of? And of course, the answer is always no, but there's a reason for that. He explained that LaSalle has a unique sense of community, one that isn't found in the majority of high schools, and that's certainly no secret. Whether you're involved in athletics, ministry and service, music and theater, robotics, or speech and debate, every interest and passion is championed here at LaSalle. And because of that, LaSalle is much more than just a school. It's a second home. And because of this inclusive environment, LaSalle has fostered us and allowed us to become better students, athletes, speakers, and leaders. Over these past 4 years, we have all grown. I mean, maybe not physically. I still wear the same blazer that I wore to 8th grade graduation. But in ways that can't necessarily be seen. Maybe you've gained a new sense of confidence. Maybe you've learned to deal with disappointment, or develop the courage to speak your mind or crack a joke in class. It's this special quality of LaSalle, community and brotherhood, that allows us to grow and develop into the men that we can and should be. Well, how ironic it is that the kid who didn't speak on the first day of high school gets to speak in front of all of you on the last. This special place that we've called home for these past 4 years has given us opportunities unlike any other high school. And the way that we have flourished in these opportunities has allowed us to create unbreakable bonds as a class. Now, as a class, we've had our fair share of ups and downs. Whether it was the well-documented shattered vending machine, watching a senior homeroom finally win tug of war, and as a proud member of 7D, I just want to say, you're welcome. Physically seeing the love your parents and classmates have for you on Kairos, or even gathering to show solidarity in the midst of losing a beloved faculty member, all of our moments here at LaSalle, good and bad, have allowed us to form a close-knit family, one that will always occupy a special place in our hearts. Our inclusive community, one with roots in the LaSallian mission, has truly benefited us in ways far beyond simply friendship and achievement. We begin each class with the phrase, "Let us remember that we are always in the holy presence of God." This constant reminder of God's role in our lives helps us to remember that we as LaSallian students have a much greater purpose than simply getting good grades or challenging ourselves in the classroom. Our faith-based education has created men living for others, people who recognize the importance of helping those around them and making a difference in the world. Unfortunately, our time here is coming to a close, but it is imperative that we take all of our experiences and lessons from these past 4 years and utilize them to make an impact on those around us. We're all in the same boat, getting ready to follow the path that we have chosen for after graduation. When I applied to the university that I will be attending in the fall, my college counselor told me that if you like LaSalle, you'll like it there. Maybe that played a factor in my ultimate decision, who knows? But I hope that your respective colleges and universities give you the same sense of community and home that LaSalle has these past 4 years. So now it's time to say goodbye. Our time here at LaSalle is coming to an end. There are no more ties to be tied, no more CAF duties to be signed, but there are memories to be cherished and friends to be remembered. As we begin our new journeys at 107 different universities in 28 different states in Washington, D.C., always remember where you came from and take the spirit of LaSalle with you to any of your future endeavors. You always have a home here at LaSalle, and as a class, the support in which we can offer one another is unmatched. Many speeches given on occasion, as remarkable as this one, present some sort of grand challenge or noble task to be taken up. I won't ask this of you, as LaSalle has already taught you to ask this of yourself. I simply ask that you remember what you learned here. Never forget your cherished years in high school and the experiences that came with them. I ask that you set forth on your chosen path to do whatever you hope to do and whomever you hope to be. You will recall the lessons that you have learned here and allow them to guide you in your next adventures. May you always remember the brotherhood that has formed each of us. It will always lead you toward success. We entered to learn and came out new men. Now it is time to serve our communities, our peers, and utilize the lessons that we have learned at LaSalle. Look around. You're surrounded by your brothers, all thanks to the community built on 8605 Cheltenham Ave. But today, we leave LaSalle as a senior class ready to begin the newest stage of our lives, college. A new environment, new faces, new curriculum, and certainly new titles. High school graduates. We leave as men of intellect and accomplishment, faith and compassion, service and justice, integrity and respect. We leave LaSalle as a family, a community of brothers for life. For the last 4 years, we have ended each prayer with the phrase, "Live Jesus in our hearts forever," remembering that we must live out our lessons of character, our friendships, our brotherhood, and our mission to care for the less fortunate each and every day. While today is no exception, perhaps we should expand our phrase as our time together as a class comes to a bittersweet close, this time with the destination being anywhere and everywhere. So, live Jesus in our hearts forever. Live 4 years of lessons, 4 years of friendship, 4 years of experiences, and an everlasting brotherhood. Live the LaSallian tradition in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, forever.
Well, now that you're all sitting, please stand. And let's finish this wonderful ceremony in the same way that we finish all things around here. St. John Baptist de La Salle, live Jesus in our hearts. And please remain standing for the singing of the alma mater.